What's up, y'all? Welcome back. We are back in the creative haven. It is I Love You Say It Back, the podcast. Glad to be with you after a mini little baby hiatus that was like partially planned, but also like partially not planned. But really glad to be back live in downtown Bakersfield. It's I Love You Say It Back, the podcast. I feel back. I feel rejuvenated. I feel alive. You know what I'm saying? And like I would hope that in this moment I do feel like, I'm alive. How are you? We got our producer Eric in the studio. How you doing?
I feel good, man. I'm back. Feels good to be here.
We haven't seen each other in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's different.
Maybe it's for the best,
Let's make it about 2 months next time.
Getting a little tired of you. No, we are back, and we have a lot to catch up on, lots to talk about. Super excited, loaded show, and let's get into it. Before we do, actually, want to get into some of our sponsor. Want to thank the Mattress Space sponsoring this podcast, Buck Owens Boulevard. Go check him out. Holiday season, get him a new mattress, get him a new couch, get him a new dining set, whatever it is. The best deals in town, hands down. Go check him out. The Mattress Space, Buck Owens Boulevard. My boy Cecil will take you get you taken care of. Also, big shout out Rev Nutrition. Jumping on board here. Got my Define. That's one of my favorite flavies right now. That one's sour gummy. And go check them out. You remember, use promo code I Love You Say It Back, or just mention that you heard it right here on the podcast. And a special shout out to everyone who's actually gone and they've sent me like a video or the pictures. They're like, hey, thank you for the 20% off. And I'm like, that feels cool. So a little side note. If you want to support the podcast, support the people who support the podcast, if that makes sense, right? Where it's like, hey, we want to jump on board. So if you support them, you're in a way supporting us, because then they see like, oh, hey, this is working. Maybe we'll do more deals. So appreciate the love and support, and everybody who's sent me something or said like, hey, cool, 20% off the entire order. You want to get in shape. It could be one of your New Year's resolutions, or maybe you want to get in shape before the New Year, sweetie. You want to look good for the holidays. Rev Nutrition, go check them out. Today we have got lots to talk about. Oh, also want to mention our socials. At ILY Say It Back Pod across all social media platforms, everywhere. ILY Say It Back Pod. Our producer, Life of Vera. I'm at Vic D Radio. We're in the Creative Haven, brought to you by the Creative Crew. Go check him out on social media. Lots of fun stuff going on. So today we're going to be, I feel like a hero. I really do. And I'll explain why. I think people who have birthdays in November often get overlooked, and not on my watch. Not on Daddy's watch. I'm going to take care of y'all. Just took a trip to Redwood National Park, a park that's been on my bucket list for a very long time, and finally got out to it. I'll tell you how that went and why I cry like a little bee every time that I do anything like that. The most ordered, I love these, once you get towards the end of the year, a lot of these can be like, we just had our Spotify Wrapped, where it tells you like your most listened to artists and songs and everything. Well, I love the list that Grubhub and all these places tell you, like, this is what was ordered the most. So we'll tell you what you've been ordering all year long. We're bringing back one of my favorite segments. It's called In Case You Didn't Knows. If you followed my radio career, I loved it. We did it every night. Just 3 fun facts. We called them In Case You Didn't Knows. So we're going to start doing that every episode now. So In Case You Didn't Knows, back. And that's not, little side note, little secret here, that's not the only thing that's going to be coming back. So we'll start there. I Love You Say It Back. In Case You Didn't Knows, those are coming back this episode, and looking forward to that. And got a few other notes and interesting things to talk about on the show. So I wanted to start with this. Let me take a sip of my Define. I'm hyped up, man.
I can feel it.
Hyped up. I feel like a hero. You ever go on social media and they say, not all heroes wear capes? I am not wearing a cape right now. I'm wearing a beautiful I Love You Say It Back hat. I'm wearing some casual jeans. I'm wearing my Apple Watch. But it's true what they say. Not all heroes wear capes. And today I feel like a hero. Today, I come to you with your yearly reminder to not bundle the Christmas gift and the birthday gift for December babies, right? Especially late December babies, where they're like, oh, here's your gift, and they try to bundle. It's like, okay, cool. You gave me my Christmas gift. What about my birthday gift? I think it's totally unfair. I think it's totally unfair that people who have late December birthdays get gypped out of their 2 gifts, right? People are like, oh, here's your 1 gift. And look, this is me speaking for the voiceless. And this hits close to home because my sister is a December 31st birthday baby. She was born on New Year's, right? So every year, first of all, she's lucky if people even remember. Like, they don't come up and say, happy birthday. They say, hey, happy New Year. And she just sits there and eats it. You got to take it, you know? And I'll tell you why it hits even closer to home and even more so. Like, obviously, my sister has, and every December baby goes through this, where people try to bundle. They're like, hey, Merry Christmas. Here's your gift. And then they think that 1 gift is going to cover both. Don't do it. Get them the 2 gifts that they deserve. I think it's totally unfair. Like, I would hate to be a December baby and only get 1 gift and be like, here, they bundle it up for the rest of your life. You know, it's already unfair. As you get older, you're like, you know, people start kind of neglecting your own birthday and they don't give you the cooler gifts like they did when you were younger. But I feel like a champion for the voiceless. Not every December baby has a podcast or a radio show or a YouTube channel or somewhere that they could voice these concerns or opinion. But I feel even stronger about it because these are people that are often like, I can only speak from my experience and the people that I know. Every December baby and every December person who gets overlooked on their birthday, they don't complain about it. Like, I remember growing up, like, and it's become a lot clearer over the last couple of years. I remember my sister growing up, people bundling her gifts. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. I was just kind of went over my head. But as I got older, I was like, she never complained about it. She never, like if I brought it up to her now, the last couple of years, I'm like, yeah, it's funny, huh? And she's like, yeah, very funny. I got half of the gifts that you got. And I was like, that's true. It's not fair. So every December baby, and I know you can relate to this if you have a December birthday, especially again, if you have a late December birthday, right? She not only has that one close to Christmas, but hell, she's got the New Year's thing. She's lucky if people remember that it is her birthday. We're out here celebrating something completely different. We're celebrating Christmas and New Year's. Oh, wait, by the way, hey, happy birthday. So you just often get overlooked, and it makes you feel like a little hero right now, because I do. I feel like I need a cape or something. I am a champion for the voiceless. Don't chip out. Don't bundle the 2 gifts in one just because their birthday is really close to Christmas. That is, would you do that if your birthday was in July or somebody else's birthday is in July? No, you get them their July birthday, happy birthday, and then you get them the Christmas gift that they deserve. Victory for president.
What if you just combine like the price of what you put on a
So if I was going to spend
gift?
$50, but now I'm getting you $100 birthday a gift.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas. Yeah, birthday, Christmas, whatever. Yeah, like the whole this is your main gift.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know like what families or cultures do that, but mine growing up was like, hey, here's your main gift. And then the rest were like these little, knickknacks that weren't
Little stocking stuffers.
Yeah. I was like, oh cool, got socks,
Yeah. But the point being is I've seen it for my entire life. It just kind of clicked a few years ago. I mean, honestly, like it really just like as we, when you're siblings and you grow up together and you're just like little kids, like so many things go on that you don't even care about you. But then as you get older and you get a lot closer as you get older and you just communicate more and you understand yourselves and your relationship as adults, Like it's completely different. I'm like, damn, like you really got chipped out of so many gifts.
Yeah.
So I feel very strong about, never. And I always tell her, I don't even know if I should be admitting this, but one thing that I've done with my sister over the last couple of years is I tell her, hey, send me links to what you want. Like, I want links to your birthday, almost like a registry. Like, I'd rather have, I want her to create like a registry, be like, hey, just put all the things that you want on here. And then I'll pick from there, and it'll be surprised. You just put like 10, 15 things on there, and then I'll get you a couple things on there, and that'll still be a surprise. Because it just, that way, if I'm going to spend the money anyways, I want to get you what you want. I don't want to, because trust me, and the reason we even got here is because I've whiffed on so many gifts where I'm like, I'm crushing this. Oh, wrong size. Oop, that's actually hideous. That is actually ugly. When I'm thinking I'm out here crushing it, and then you leave me to my own devices and go pick out Christmas gifts, don't do that. If I'm dropping money, I want to get you what you want. And we have that great communication. We have that great understanding. So every year when it starts getting close to Christmas, she knows, here come the links. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It makes it easier for me. She's going to get something she wants. And then I'll always throw in like a little something like random, like gift card to something that I know she likes, or just a little something where it's like not expected. But the big point of this is today I feel like a hero because I'm speaking for the voiceless, and I don't hear this conversation being brought up enough about how stop bundling people's gifts who are December, especially late December birthdays. Again, 50 for president. We got a presidential election coming up. Up next, I wanted to talk about this. This has been since I quit a year ago at the radio station, I haven't been able to do quite as much traveling or hiking or anything like that. Like I still do, the occasional like little hikes here, but I still, hit Yosemite or anything like that. But I hadn't done one that, like a big one in a while. And one of the ones that I have been wanting to do for years is Redwood National Park. Now that one's interesting because it's still in California. So but it's actually easier to get to like Denver, Colorado, or it's easier to get to Utah or Seattle or Portland or somewhere like that than it is to get to Redwood because it's a 10-hour drive. I don't know where you would, to be honest, I probably should have looked into this, but I don't know where I would fly into in order to hit Redwood National Park. So to me, it always seemed like, oh, it has to be a drive, 10-hour drive versus a 2-hour flight. I was like, okay, well, I can drive 10 hours up north, or I could take a 2.5-hour flight to Portland or Seattle. I'm taking that flight. And, then you go explore there. But Redwood National Park, I've seen the beauty of it only through social media, through TikTok, through Reels. And I was just like, man, that's a bucket list. Folks, I finally did it. And one of I don't even know if this is like a rule, but one of the things that I never like to do, I don't like to visit places twice. Like, I just feel like if I'm going to explore, if I'm going to see, why would I go to the same place if I'm making a trip? I'd rather see somewhere new, kind of like hikes. I don't like to do too many hikes twice.
You won't visit the same place? Like New York. You won't go to New York twice type of thing?
Maybe. Well, New York is so massive that I can go to New York like 4 times and not do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, what about this? Like, what about somewhere, say Paris? Would you go to Paris more than once? Or that's one of those places like you go long enough, do everything you're supposed to because it's so far.
Yeah.
And you'll never go back again.
It just depends. I've never been. So, but the point that I'm trying to get to is there are like 2 or 3 places off the top of my head that I could think of that I want to go back to. And Redwoods is one. I'm already thinking about going back sooner than later. But the other place is Montana. Have you been to Montana?
I would want to go. Let's go. We could road trip there.
Dog.
I'd be down for that. Sedona is my place that I think. Sedona National Park, bro. We have the virtual vortex out there. Spirit, they're They're known, depending on how you view things, but they're known to be like portals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to look into that. But see, the reason why, and I've talked about this on when I was at the radio station and on my social media, I'm not attracted to Arizona hiking at all. I'm into green, I'm into rainforest, I'm into wet, watery, gloomy, wet, kind of cold. And Arizona just looks dry and just like nothing. What am I
you're
looking
so
at?
wrong,
Dead
bro.
trees? I know I'm wrong.
Arizona has been my favorite state to road trip in. I've done it like 2-3 times.
You're
Think about
Mexican.
it.
How did they treat you there? I know they're super racist.
Well, I was just going. Think about
Gotta
this.
get rid of these Mexicans.
There's
Send
so
them back.
there's so many places, bro. You have, let's just start with the biggest one, Grand Canyon. You have Sedona.
Looks boring.
You have Lake Havasu.
Sounds hot.
You have Monument Valley at the top. Once you get to the top, you have the Four Corners. You have the Hoover Dam. There's so actually it's different, but you also have Zion National Park at the very top by Monument Valley. I've went there where Forrest Gump, there's that famous row where he's running. He's like, I think I'm gonna go home now. Well,
Never seen that movie, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, no, I get a lot of crap for it.
Holy.
There's
crap.
a lot of things that I haven't done that
Wow.
are really popular. Yeah.
Anyway, Arizona is one of my favorite. And Sedona, it doesn't seem real. You go to the forest, redwood, all this stuff, these massive trees and stuff. And at some point, you're like, okay, these are trees. But when you go to
Hey, easy.
Hey, but no,
I'm gonna fight back
okay,
on that.
But I mean, when you go to Sedona,
This is
the
dirt.
green. No, there's green. There's a lot of green there. It's just in patches in this orange, blocky, like different shaped mountains. It's crazy. It's just a wow moment.
I'm definitely open, and I want to go experience it because I mean, the way you've talked about it is the same way I've heard other people tell. Like you have to go visit. Like, and I do want to try that thing. Have you seen where people walk through the water? I don't know if it's in Bryce Canyon or Zion. I think it's in
Lake Havasu.
Zion. No. Where people, it's a hike,
Zion National Park.
and then
It's
you walk
beautiful.
through it.
You have to book a year in advance to do that.
Damn.
Yeah, well, if you're trying to get to the camp spot where the water looks really like fantasy, like paradise waterfall,
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, I did Redwood, and one of the things that I love sharing every bit of my adventures, right? And I talk about it on social media, and I have been for years, and it's nothing new, but the point that I want to get to is I always get this question, and people like understand it for the most part, but I did want to clear it up because I've got this platform now where it's like, hey, I can talk about whatever the hell I want for as long as the hell I want. I talk about how I get emotional when I'm driving through some of these really beautiful places. And of course, beautiful is all in the eye of the beholder. Like, I have zero doubt that Eric thinks that Arizona is beautiful, and it is. And it's all like, what inspires you? What makes you feel some type of way? To me, it's green. It's everything that I just described. The forest, the fog, the rain, like all that. That to me is inspiring. To me, it brings something out. And sometimes I don't know necessarily. Eric, is this shit recording? What is this little thing right here? What is that little X right there? We're good? Oh, Dad. Okay. Woo. So, you get inspired by so many things. It's like watching a great movie. A great movie is going to make you feel all kinds of emotions. And sometimes one of those emotions is tears. But it's more flat out, like, raw. And you understand, like, oh, this movie made me cry because it's sad. This movie made me cry because the comeback kid comes back and wins a fight that he wasn't supposed to. Eric. But sometimes you go through things and you're so happy, like happy tears exist. And to me, it's a beautiful mixture of overwhelming feeling of inspiration, joy, beauty. And sometimes you're like, there's so much emotion that you're like, I don't know how else this can come out. I'm not sad. I'm not, I'm not, nothing. It's pure overwhelming of beauty and joy. And that's the only way I can describe it. And I know not everybody appreciates it the way I do, because I've talked about this before. Like, there's people who appreciate art and like get overwhelmed by art and the beauty and the abstract art. And to me, like, it's hard for me to understand. I don't have that, whatever that is. Like, I can tell you, like, that's a beautiful piece, but I don't appreciate it the way that real like art people can break it down you know, right? So I know when I'm explaining this, this isn't for everybody or everybody to feel. I'm just telling you why I feel and why I just sometimes like get overwhelmed and I start crying. People think like, what's wrong with you, little bitch? I'm crying. It's like the good kind of cry. It's the inspirational type of crying. When you spark an idea, when you get moving on something, when you just feel like this joy and this happiness, you're like, I can't believe I'm here. And you feel so tiny, yet you feel so massive. I don't know how to describe it, and I wish I could articulate it a lot better, but it's an overwhelming feeling of inspiration, joy, happiness, and beauty. And sometimes when your brain or your body doesn't know how to express it, it comes out as tears. You ever been through anything like that?
Yeah, Sedona. I stood in a
Yes, dirt.
I stood in a spiritual vortex, bro. And
I want to experience that.
But there was a, you know, like, you know, you go hiking, you experience all these new things, these beautiful moments and places and thoughts and feelings, and then it kind of brings you to this emotional state where you think about your life, you think about where you're at, where
Everything.
you were, where you want to go. And like you said, ideas or anything. You could be thinking about your family, your friends, and how things been coming together or breaking apart. And then it just all translates to this moment of, I'm glad I did this. And you could keep finding those little moments because you're doing things for yourself and getting away or trying new things. Those are, I think, what a lot of life is about.
And the truth is, I've done hikes with people in the past, and I don't feel like, I think a large part of this is I do hike for the most part like alone. And this started, I didn't want to hike alone. I've talked about this. But I always was waiting. I was like, one of my friends, I was like, who's down? Who's down? Who's down? Like, and the night before they'd be like, oh, I got drunk, I'm hungover. Oh, no, I'm not into that. No, I don't want to do this. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I went alone the first time, and I swear to you, it hit completely different when I was alone. Like, you can be alone with your thoughts. You can express yourself and the inspiration and the creativity that you just said, that the emotional feelings that you get. And it's one of those things that I can tell you, but you have to go out there and experience it and see, maybe it does the same thing for you. You can't describe it, but I did Fern Canyon, which was kind of cool. You kind of learn a lot about the history, and they filmed like Star Wars. They filmed parts of Jurassic Park on there. It was just kind of a cool thing. And I went on a Sunday, and it was kind of, it's funny because the drive up is kind of crazy in itself. Wait, let me back up. The whole reason I decided to pull the trigger on this trip was because my buddy, shout out Alec and Zareen, who are having their first baby, they're having their baby shower this Saturday. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to drive up there. Now, the baby shower was only a couple hours, but it was a 4-hour drive to get there. So I was like, I was going to go regardless. So I was like, all right, well, let me see what there is to do around there. Maybe I can make a night out of it. Maybe I could do whatever. And then I was like, wait, I'm going 4 hours north. And then I looked, and Redwoods was still 6 hours from where the baby shower was. It was in the San Jose, kind of Gilroy area. And I was like, you know what? What if I just kept going, like after the baby shower, drove another couple hours, found somewhere to stay. And then the next day I went and did Redwoods, and I could explore it Sunday and Monday, and then come back Tuesday. And that's exactly what it did. So that's kind of how the whole like vision and idea even came about. It was like, oh, there's a baby shower. You're going up north. You're going to be halfway there. When I explained this, someone was like, yeah, that's boy math. And I was like, yeah, hilarious, right? But yeah, that's how the whole idea kind of came about. And I could not be happier. And I'm already going back. There's a couple things that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do because they're closed on the days that I was there. But now I know, you kind of explore, you learn, you do, and then you're like, all right, now this is what I want to do. So Redwoods and Montana, 2 places I definitely want to go back to for sure. But yeah, get out there, explore, feel that inspiration. And if it doesn't hit you, well, then
Try the next
at least,
place.
try somewhere else or, find inspiration wherever it is.
I would
man.
say make these trips. If you can't find it, do it during a changing point in your life.
And another thing too is that a lot of people wait, just like I was waiting for, like, oh, who's gonna come with me? And we often don't think that it's possible to do these things alone. And I understand. Let me just stop right here. I understand it's different for women.
Yes,
I do.
100%.
They've got to take things into consideration. That my ugly ass, I could walk into anywhere, sleep, and not have to worry about much. They've got to take a whole different set of things into account. So that's not saying be reckless, but there are women who plan differently. It's like, okay, well, I can travel during the night, no problem. Well, they might be done driving at a certain time, or they're done exploring at a certain time. But if you're sitting here waiting for people to be down to come with you, it's almost like you're wasting your time and you're wasting your experiences. And you might find that you enjoy doing these things alone, maybe a little bit more than with someone.
Yeah, quick story. I used to make fun of a buddy that went on a solo trip every year by himself, whether it's a different country, here, or there. And it was back when I was in a relationship. I'm like, dude, like, you're a loser. And I became single and wanted to do these things. And I tried it, bro. My first trip was a 10-day road trip, whether it was here, Vancouver, Canada, Hawaii, Arizona, Colorado. I went to New Orleans, Texas, all these places. And it was my first time traveling alone. And it was the greatest thing at that time that I could give myself.
Yep.
And I hold that moment like so precious to me because it opened my eyes and mind to what you just said. You can do these things alone. It's not like a bad thing. You can give yourself that. And really this is down to the roots of our soul, like exploring and getting connected to Mother Nature.
Absolutely. And it is kind of scary or weird at first, but I swear to you, once you kind of get it out the way, it's kind of like, well, I like this a lot more. Speaking of, I just took a sip of my Define, and I haven't washed my water bottle since I came back. I kid you not. I don't know if you could see, I don't know if the camera won't pick it up, but there's dirt on this thing from Redwood National Park. Those are definitely redwood trees.
That?
I just thought it was worth
Tastes
noting.
good?
Yeah,
Alright.
this is definitely dirt. I mean, I dropped this water bottle a couple times. I wish there was cameras within the national park that saw. There were certain parts where I was running like a fucking dork. But there's a reason why I was running, because I wanted to do two things at once. So on the way back, there was a couple times that I did run. But you know what it felt like? I was holding my backpack. Like, remember the kids that ran to the lunch line?
Yeah.
Like when you get out and they're like, like the weird kids, and you're like, damn, okay, like chill.
Like that anime run?
That's the Naruto.
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like. But I was by myself. There was a soul on this trail. It was 12 miles round trip. And when you don't see anyone, it just kind of spooks you out a little bit. You're like, am I going the right way? You start wondering. You're like, oh, man. But no, everything was good. Everything was fine. But yeah, so get out, explore. There's beauty. Crying is good when you're overwhelmed with positive things. Let's get into our newest segment. This is called, it's new segment on the podcast, not necessarily new to anything we've done. But these are your fun facts. We call these your in case you didn't knows. And we're still working on getting that little sound bite. So until then.
That's on the last episode?
We talked about that, yeah.
All right, cool. We can do that.
I'm going to press it and I'm just going to sing it. In case you didn't know. It's just as good.
That was pretty good too. That might have been better.
All right, in case you didn't know. I love this segment because these are just 3 quick nuggets. If you're unfamiliar, these are just 3 fun facts. Random, just bang, bang, bang. Denmark has more pigs than people. In case you didn't know. Taking a hot bath can help reduce the feelings of loneliness. I know a couple people that need a hot bath. If you take it hot enough, it'll help you forget about a lot of things.
It burns.
Fuck loneliness.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah, somebody get the Neosporin.
You take it hot enough, it'll take a feel. You won't be worried about money. You won't be worried about loneliness. You won't be worried about nothing
Yeah, you'll be worrying about the warts forming on your skin from the heat.
And then, in case you didn't know, and then finally, in case you didn't know, women. This we can do a whole different subject on this. Women lose 2 to 4 hours of sleep every night overthinking. In case you didn't know, and we move on.
I wonder what that number is on guys.
I don't think it's very far
It's
off, too.
yeah, I think it's a human stat.
Right. But I think when
But
you
you'll
attach it to women, it's like
I think
you can't even
know the men's stat because that's the reason why there's no stat. Guys won't even admit it.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
We talk about when
I
is the
slept
gym 8,
12 hours.
Yeah.
Like a real man. Lots of exciting food news. So I love the end of the year because you start getting stats on everything that's gone over the years. Are you a big DoorDash? Are you a big
Never ordered food on an app like that.
Okay, so I can't say I never have, but I will say that there's people who do it a lot, and I'm
Every
like,
day.
God damn, you're rich. You know, like
Yeah.
I just like, am I gonna spend $8 at McDonald's, or am I gonna Uber Eats it or DoorDash it for $27? And I'm like, that's kind of a sick flex, you know? Like, I'm just gonna go around and lie to people and just tell them that I Uber Eats like every day. But they came out with their year-end wrap-up, similar to Spotify, what you listen to, who you listen to, how much you listen to. And I thought these were interesting. So we'll start with the most ordered food nationwide. And we'll start at number 10. We'll work our way up to number 1. Number 10 was fried rice. Number 9 was Cobb salad. Number 8 was traditional wings. Got to be traditional wings. Number 7 was chips and queso. Number 7 was pepperoni pizza. Number 5 was spicy chicken sandwiches. Remember a couple years ago, that was like
The thing.
That was a thing.
What was it, Louisiana?
the Popeyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what this is, but it sounds bomb. Do you know what garlic naan, Naan?
No.
I'm like, did y'all spell this right? But then I'm like, what could it be? Garlic naan. Can you Google that?
Yeah, I can actually.
Number 3 was Mozzie sticks. Love that. Chicken quesadilla at number 2. And the number 1 most ordered food nationwide was French fries.
Garlic naan.
I would never DoorDash just fries. That's kind of a wild thing to do. Again,
This looks actually fire.
dude, it sounds fire.
Have you seen it?
No, that's
gonna
why I was
show you real
asking. I was
quick.
like, I've never seen what it is. Garlic naan. Naan.
Like cheese.
People are going to watch this and going to be like, these uncultured don't know what naan is. It sounds like someone's grandma, like a nickname. That's my garlic naan. That's like a garlic flatbread.
Yeah. Looks amazing though.
Where do you even get that? We got to order some of that right now. You got $50 on you? So there you go. And so this list is now from the top orders nationwide from grocery stores. So not only people do order fast food, but they also order their groceries. So number 10 was blueberries. Number 3 was red onions. Number 8 was iceberg lettuce. Number 7 was eggs. 6 was whole milk. 5 was cilantro. Number 4 was cucumber. Number 3 was strawberries. Number 2 was Roma tomato. And number 1 was bananas. Let's get into the alcohol part of this. Alcohol, the most ordered alcohol nationwide. Number 10 was rum. And I forgive me if I butcher some of this. Wine is not my thing. So there's a lot of these names where I may butcher. So I'm just gonna give it my best shot, and you can cook me on social media if you'd like. Pinot Noir,
Yep.
Lager beer, Pinot Grigio.
Mhm.
Number 6 was whiskey. Jesus. Number 5 is Prosciutto. Prostitute. Oh, people are ordering some sketchy things on here. Like this one, I have no. Okay. Number 4, Sauvignon Blanc. What the hell is that? Number 3, tequila. Number 2 was hard seltzers, and number 1 is vodka. Vodka at number 1 is wild because vodka's got to be the absolute worst of the hard liquors. Are you a vodka guy?
Nah, I don't drink tequila's. What I just don't drink vodka, man. It's not
Vodka's
my thing.
disgusting.
It literally tastes like rubbing alcohol. Like both of our faces are doing the same thing, just
Yeah.
saying the word. Yeah.
And yeah, like I'm a big vodka fella. Like, okay, thank you for telling me you're filthy and disgusting. I
used
that's
to think it was cool to drink because Ciroc was vodka, and I remember Ciroc was a popular vodka at the time. I was like, oh yeah, let's drink this.
And then you grow up and you realize this is cheap as
crap.
shit.
It's just crap, bro. And it's P. Diddy's brand.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I think the things that I've ordered, I think I've ordered Raising Cane's, and I ordered like a couple other things, but none of this stuff. Just fries is, again, just a flex. Mozzie sticks. We got to try that garlic naan. But also, this was kind of a wild thing to announce. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I have seen a couple reports on it from different places. And if it's true, this is wild. McDonald's announced that they're going to bring back their chicken wrap, which is fantastic. But they said we're going to return it in 2025. It's going to be something similar, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's so wild to have a year plus advance notice. Be like, that's what they do for movies. How fat are we in this country? We're like, have you seen the new trailer for the McSnack wrap? It's like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? But the snack wrap is fantastic. I can't wait for 2025. Oh, yeah? What movie are you going to watch? No, the snack wrap is back. Jesus Christ. Shoot a claw. But I will say, the snack wrap being back and McDonald's bringing it back is huge. Quick story on it. So one of my favorite things to make at home is these. It's the easiest thing to make. You get a flour tortilla, you get lettuce, you get chicken, and then you get whatever sauce you like. I get honey mustard, and I get Asian zing sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings. You can buy it at Walmart for like $5, and it's the easiest thing. When you're a single fella living alone and you want to eat real good and you want to eat real quick, that is exactly what you go to. And it was the best thing. So, and I remember getting the idea from the McSnack wrap years ago, and it was fantastic. So something just happened. Is that good?
I just read that Vita Vegan's closing their doors.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
times are rough.
maybe throw some meat in here, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, definitely a joke. But yeah, that's,
So yeah. And also, but it also reminds me of this too, because people are like, we need to stop bullying, and bullying. In a weird way, bullying kind of worked in this situation, because remember when they took it off, everybody's been giving McDonald's shit since like they removed it, I don't know how many years ago, and we're like, we want it back, we want it back, we want it back. We bullied them into getting it back. So if you want it, bully them.
Be a bully.
Be a bully. It works. It works. It'll toughen you up too. Just kind of wrapping up on things over the year. You know who the most, I'm going to give you a guess on this. This isn't even the trivia. Do you know who the most search person was in 2023?
Andrew Tate?
Nope.
Most searched person?
And I'll give you a hint. It's a boy, so already that narrows it down halfway.
I feel like, okay.
He had one big moment, and it was all from this one moment. And it was a massive moment. It wasn't necessarily a great moment, but it was like one thing that happened that just went absolutely nuts. I'll give you one more hint if you want it.
I don't know if I'm trying to think. It's the comedian industry, the actor industry, the movie industry, the music industry, sports. Go ahead, one more hint.
Sports.
Okay. Yeesh. Messi?
Nope. No. Oh, that's actually a great guess, though. See, you're really good at guessing, but you're really bad at getting it right.
Okay, go ahead. Give me the guess.
What?
Give me one more. What? Are you gonna give me another hint, or that was the hint?
That was the hint.
Okay.
Sports guy.
Gosh.
Who had a massive moment. And again, it wasn't necessarily a great moment for him personally.
Yeah, I'm assuming that and I just cannot think of a situation right now.
DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
I mean, my man's died on the field.
I looked him up a couple times.
Yeah. Well, he was a 6th-round pick, relatively unknown. This happens, and everybody has to Google who he is. But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, DeMar Hamlin,
makes
2023, most Googled person. I'm assuming if that's the U.S. because in the world, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, also, quick note going back to the food. So pineapple on pizza isn't something that I'm kind of gonna come up here and argue, because clearly it's delicious, but you're not gonna change anybody's mind on this, right? Like if you love it, you love it, and if you don't, you don't. It's like politics.
I think you could be in the middle.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, because my position on it is pineapple belongs on pizza when you are in Hawaii. Every time I go to Hawaii, I buy Hawaiian pizza and I eat it. It tastes amazing. It does not taste the same in the States.
I feel like that's just someone trying to flex that they've been in Hawaii.
No,
like,
no.
Hey, listen
you
here,
eat in
pal.
the culture. You do the culture.
Hey, let me tell
thing.
you something. You probably wouldn't know this, but it's horrible. Unless, if you're like myself, you travel to Hawaii all the time. It's the only place it tastes. But a lot of people wouldn't know this, you uncultured people.
No, I mean like, hey, if you've never tried pineapple on pizza and you don't think it's correct, change your mind for the moment if you ever go to Hawaii.
Okay.
If you never want to experience pineapple on pizza because you're against it, just flip the switch for that moment when you're out there, because that's where you want to try it at. I think and I did that for myself.
Okay.
With my family.
Yeah.
You jerk.
So I love it. I love it here, or I love it in. I mean, I've never been to Hawaii. That's a sick flex. I wouldn't know. I probably would love it in Hawaii too.
Yeah.
But so pineapple on pizza, again, it's not one of these things. I'm not going to come on here and change anybody's mind. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? But it is interesting that this is why I found it interesting, because of what I just said. You're not going to change anybody's mind on it. But did you know that pineapple on pizza increased, the orders on this increased by 33%? So that's mind-blowing, not because, pizza, whatever, but you often can't change people's mind. But if there's more orders on it, and 33% is significant when it comes to that food. If it was like 1%, 2%, 5%, whatever, but we're talking 33, that's a third of the people now ordered pineapple on pizza. It just made it's just one of these things that like, hey, we're not changing anybody's minds, or are we? Because these percentages and these stats are showing that people are now ordering it. All I'm saying is, pineapple on pizza is absolutely delicious. You dip it in some ranch, you got yourself a great night.
Ranch, the ranch part I agree with.
And if you're in Hawaii,
get some pineapple on your pizza.
Get some money, get yourself over to Hawaii. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I feel like it was good. It was good to be back. It's good to be back. I feel so. One of these things, I'm just gonna wrap up with this. So often, when you go on vacation and then you come back and you dread going back, you're like, damn it, I have to go back to work. Like, we don't have jobs where we like absolutely loathe, or like we have a lot of flexibility with our own schedules, or we're very lucky in that sense. But I think it was crazy because I came back last Tuesday, basically Wednesday, and we took a couple of days off because you had to fly out. And by the time that we're ready to record, I was ready to go. Like, I was anxious and I was ready to come back and do that. And I think that's a great feeling.
Oh yeah.
I think, and maybe it's because we're wired. We're like constantly thinking of working and doing this, and it's like where you're like, okay, like at this point, what am I doing? Yeah. Like it's almost like work is kind of that necessary evil when it comes to. And I've used this example before. Like, you enjoy vacation so much because work leads you to be like, oh, I need a vacation. If we all didn't work and always vacation, I don't think we'd appreciate vacation quite as much. It's almost like the time that I bought pink Starburst and they were all pink. I swear to God, I didn't enjoy them as much. I enjoyed the pink Starburst more because of the shitty orange and the yellow. So sometimes you got to go through those ugly flavies to get you, and then you have that pink, and you're like, Jesus, this is so good. Yeah. So the pink Starburst is enjoyable because of the orange. Vacation is enjoyable because you hate your 9 to 5. You know,
You give yourself moments to enjoy. You know.
just kind of a fun little thing. All right, you ready to wrap up with a little trivia?
Mm-hmm.
All right, big shout out to our sponsor, Rev Nutrition. Remember, go get you some Define. We just played our baseball game. Damn, that was one thing. I gotta talk about this. So we're talking about Redwood National Park, and I'm only gonna take like 2 minutes on this. Redwood National Park, feeling overwhelmed and happy and filled with these emotions. So I would play in a baseball league, not softball, baseball. And we're in the championship again. It's back to back. And it's so you know, you got grown men who have real jobs, and we're out there, you know, for 3 hours every Sunday. But I love the fact that there's like this thing. We had a comeback win. We were down 4-6 in the bottom of the ninth, and we had this, or the top of the ninth. We were the visiting team, but we had to come back, score, whatever. We ended up scoring 4 in our last opportunity. And when I tell you, there is pure joy and happiness and love in a team coming back in a totally meaningless, in the grand scheme of life, you know, it means nothing. But in that moment, for those 3 hours, I swear to you, we are like, nothing else matters. These people don't have kids. They don't have jobs. They don't have car payments or mortgage payments that they're worried about. The only thing that matters in those 3 hours is that baseball game. And I think it's such a beautiful and healthy escape from their and everybody's reality. Because, you know, I'd be stressing over the podcast. I'd be stressing over a lot of stuff. And the recording part's the easy part, but then there's a lot more work that goes in afterwards, and it gets you stressed and it keeps you up at night and it blah, 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 blah. But then you get those moments where you're like, I'm turning all that off. And this matters, and this is healthy, and this is like, and I'm glad that I don't just look at it as like, this is dumb, this means nothing. And it's just like, no, you allow yourself to kind of get lost in the moment, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think everybody, if you have something like this in your life, embrace it, love it, and get to it as much as you can, because those are the kind of things, when you're having a bad day, a rough day, or a rough week, those are the kind of things that you just kind of look forward to. And we play our championship on Sunday, 10 a.m. So holler at us, come watch a game, come support. You should be there. My last championship game, everybody's celebrating with their families, and I'm sitting there like, can I take a picture with the trophy?
I'll try to make it.
You don't have to. I just took a drink of my Redwood National Park dirt. So, yeah, getting to our trivia question brought to you by, again, Rev Nutrition. Use the code I love you, say it back, or just tell me you heard it right here on the podcast. They'll get you hooked up 20% off your entire order. Go do it. I got the whole baseball team on this thing. It's beautiful. Came back and won. Is all I'm saying. The results speak for themselves. Had a great comeback win in golfing over the weekend too. Took my Define. Also the Mattress Space Furniture Outlets, Buck Owen Boulevard in Bakersfield. Go check them out. Best deals. Trivia question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Saying no to this can help your mental health. Saying no to this can help your mental health. What is it?
People.
No.
Sugar.
Well, that's more of a physical thing too, but it's also good for your mental. But I'll give you a hint because it is kind of vague. It's a seasonal thing. It's going on right now.
Okay, saying no to going out.
Okay, you're getting warmer.
Because people are sick with the flu?
No, that's more, okay, we're talking about mental health. Like, this is good for your mind and soul.
Got it. Okay.
There's a lot of stress and a lot of things that come with this. Saying no to this can help your mental health.
Saying no to going out?
To what?
To drinking? Going out partying? Clubbing?
You're close, but do you have any closer guesses?
Dinner? Going out?
No. Saying no to Christmas parties. Christmas parties. A lot of like work functions, a lot of, getting together with the
people feel obligated.
you start. It comes with a lot. It does. When I read it, and I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I love getting hammered at the Christmas parties, and you get to." But then you got to think about it. Like people feel the pressure. Like, "Oh, am I going to bring someone? Who am I going to bring? If I show up with a friend, people are going to be like, "Oh, this is it. Where is it weird? Is it this? Is it too soon to ask? Should I not ask? Should I?" Like, there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of things that kind of come with it. So, when you think about it, you're like, "Damn, I'm just no." Like, I'm good. I'm busy that night.
And you know why I think it's because I just talked to a friend. And she was telling me about how her situation had just fell apart because the guy never pulled the trigger. But she had already invited him to the Christmas party, but he never invited her. And think about how many people are going through like relationship issues. They're like, dang, I want to go to the Christmas party, but people think me and my man are together, me and my girl are together. But they're saying they're not coming.
Exactly.
And I'm going to have to be like, oh, they didn't want to come. They're not feeling good. Whatever it is, there is stresses that come along. I think that's one of the main reasons behind those things.
And it's supposed to be like an enjoyable thing, but you see everybody bring their partners, you see everybody, and it's just like...
And then if you don't have a partner, you kind of feel sad going and seeing these friends or relationships and people in this workspace enjoying this, because this is an outside work moment where you get to see people in their real lives in a way and let loose. So I get it. That makes perfect sense.
Saying no to Christmas parties can help your mental health. So if you don't feel like it, guess what, sweetheart? Don't go. Say no. Like
just say you're going and don't go.
Yeah, just show up in the Irish goodbye, like, hey, yo, see
or
you
just
later.
quit your job right before the party.
Oh yeah, just say, you know what, I got a different job. I don't want to be here anymore. Been there before. All right, we'll wrap it up on that note. Y'all have a great one. Sleep good. Que sueñen con los angelitos. I love you. Say it back. Be sure to follow the pod on all social platforms at ILY Say It Back Pod. I'm at Vic T Radio, our producer at Life of Vivera. We're in the Creative Haven, brought to you by the Creative Crew.
With the K.
Until next time, live in downtown Bakersfield, this has been I Love You Say It Back, the podcast. I love you.
Say it back.
You.